That's right.
All right, ready? Owners participating in a walkathon fundraiser. 2 donors promised to donate money based on the total distance he walks. All right. The money, A. So the first thing here we need is A. A is the amount that he receives from the first donor. For walking a certain distance, right? Second one is B. Money they receives from the second donor, given that he walks the same distance. But there's 2 different formulas, right? So A is this formula or function, and then this is B. It's a different formula or function, whatever you want to say. And then down here, there's the third function. It says T. T is the total money the owner raises by these donors, from those donors by walking D kilometers. The question is this. You are asked to write a formula for the total amount of money that he raises. Remember, there's 2 different donors. A donor is somebody who gives money, right? So A is one formula for a certain donor, and B is another formula for the other donor. So how would you find the total? What would you do with the 2 things? Add them. Very good. So T is going to be equal to this. This is what we're going to write. A of D plus B of D. Notice how I'm saying that? That shouldn't be a foreign concept to you, right? That's how we say functions. A of D and B of D. And this assignment will be something like this on all of them. All right, so you have to decide, are we going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide the 2 functions? What are they asking for? So this is a pretty simple one. Obviously, if we wanted the total money, we would add the 2 donors, right? Now, the second part of it says, write a formula for T of D in terms of D. So in this first one, every answer is going to be something like this, where they ask you to put A and B, capital letters like that. Okay, actually write the function. Now down here, they want you to actually put it together. So here's what I would advise you to do. A's formula is 10D, right? I would advise you to always use parentheses like that. The other formula that we're adding to it is B, right? Use parentheses. It doesn't really matter on this one too much because they're adding. But on other formulas, it'll be multiplying and dividing or subtracting, and you'll have it wrong if you don't use parentheses. Deal? Where did I get this? Where did I get 10D? Right there. Yep. Where did I get this? Good. Right there. Let's do another one. All of these are like this. Okay. So let's do one other one. And listen, there's more than one type on these. It's very tricky. So you're just going to have to ask yourself, are you adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Here we go. Avery predicts that a number of horses on her farm certain years from now will be modeled by that function. Stop it. Okay. And the amount of hay that she produces on her farm 2 years from now will be modeled by that function. So we have 2 things. We have horses, amount of horses on the farm, number of horses on the farm. And then this is the amount of hay. This one is so confusing because they use H for horses, and then we want to figure out a letter to use for hay, but they use the letter A since they already used the letter H. Okay. Yeah, there you go. O for oats, you mean? Yeah. Genius. All right, here we go. F. Now, F is the yearly supply of hay in tons. Yearly supply of hay in tons. Available to who? Each horse. Right? So if we want to figure out how much hay for each horse, Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Dividing. Very good. Right? We would take the total amount of hay and divide by the total amount of horses. Okay. So what is hay? What letter? A. And what is the total horses? H. So the way that I like to say this one is hay per horse. We tend to speak in that kind of language, right? Hay per horse. So let's set it up here. The yearly supply of hay available to each horse. So when we write this out, we're going to have to use a fraction like this. And then down here, we're going to actually use those two formulas. So same thing. A is 150. Whoa. And then down here. Now, if you miss one and you go to the hints, they'll actually simplify this stuff. You don't have to, though. Okay. So if you miss something and you go through the hints and you say, hey, this isn't right, you said I can use parentheses and they didn't use parentheses like this. That's not why you missed it. You missed it for some other reason. Okay? You want to do one more or not? Let's do one more. I think one more. Ready? Here we go. This is a new kind of vocab for some of you. All right. Scarlett sells designer ponchos. Oh, my. Fancy. Designer ponchos. All right. The revenue. What's revenue? Good. Wait, hang on. We need to talk specifically. Revenue is what? You said the money you make. Revenue is not profit.
That is the total amount of money you bring in.
Good. Total money you bring in. Total dollars from sales or something like that you bring in, right? What is the other thing? Expenses here. What's expenses? Good, right? It is money spent on different things, right? So when she sells ponchos, she sells them, let's say, for $10, right? Looks like right here she sells them for $20, right? $20 a poncho. But the ponchos aren't free, right? It costs her some money to make the ponchos, get them shipped to her, and then sell them, right? So now we get to this. It says P is the total profit. What's profit? Good. Profit is revenue minus expenses. That's correct. It's the amount of money you bring in minus the amount of money that you spend. Yeah? Okay. So that's profit. So it's often a confusing thing for people. Profit and revenue get screwed up quite often. All right. So in this case, we're just going to subtract revenue. Minus expenses. And then I'm not going to do the second part. But be sure to use parentheses. Got me? Okay. So parentheses around that. Parentheses around that. Deal? Okay, there's going to be lots of different situations on these. Holler at me if you have a question, but that's the general idea.